Good morning, Vikas. Sheel sir, as you all know, is the MD of the Jal Jeevan Mission. Sorry for disturbing you on a holiday for those of you who have holiday in the States. But we are very, very grateful to APAC also for organizing this. So since Vikas Sheel sir has to leave, without much ado, I will hand over to Vikas Sheel to talk about the Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain 2023, which is on source sustainability for drinking water. And you are one of the 150 districts selected. Over to you, Vikas.
Thanks, Archana. Good morning to all the colleagues who joined us from the districts. So as you are aware, Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain this year is focused on source sustainability for drinking water. I request all to please mute your mics. Yeah, thank you. As we are all aware, around 65%, 66% of all our pipe water supply schemes are based on groundwater or on spring water. And we would have witnessed, especially in the districts that are connected today, stress on these water sources, especially during summers. So this year, the thought emerged in the department and the ministry that let's focus on source sustainability for drinking water sources, because as we keep on increasing the coverage of tap connections, it's equally important to also ensure that the sources from which the water is being supplied do sustain over the life cycle of the scheme. Otherwise, the service delivery, etc., will come in question. Just a bit on how the districts are selected, so that some of you may be wondering why my district. So basically, we consulted with the states to obtain a history from the states or the list of districts where we've had occasions of water transport during summers through tankers. That combined with the data available with the Central Groundwater Board in terms of which areas are overexploited, which are critical, which are safe, etc. So that intersection, led us to the list of 150 districts which are being prioritized in this Jal Shakti Abhiyan, especially for the theme of source sustainability for drinking water. Another reason why your district may not have the history of water tankers and may not even be perhaps critical, overstressed, etc., but still is in the list, is that we wanted to have a footprint over all states that are covered under the Jal Jeevan Mission, except Delhi and Chandigarh, which do not have any rural areas, and therefore they're out of the ambit of the Jal Jeevan Mission. We've already issued the detailed guidance note to states, and I'm thankful to Archana for also sharing the note to you. I'm sure that you have gone through it. Today we are here to answer any queries, clarify any points that might be there in terms of what is to be done and how to go about it. Just in a nutshell, because I have to leave for another meeting, therefore, in a nutshell, I'd just like to explain what are the activities and how to go about it. So we've shared with you standard operating procedure for risk assessment of sources and villages. Please go through it, set it in motion if not already done. Do the risk assessment. For each of the groundwater sources and the spring-based sources, please get the sources geotagged on the JJM IMIS. There's a Har Ghar Jal app through which Har Ghar Jal certification is done. In the same app for which the department, the PHE department users are the users. The same app offers the facility for geotagging of pipe water supply scheme assets. So therefore, the groundwater sources and the spring sources, as well as surface water sources. In case of surface water sources, we capture the treatment plant locations. So these should be captured on the IMIS to set the denominators. Then based on the risk assessment, the district team should assess whether a recharge structure is required or not. There might be areas where the water table, even during summers, is comfortable and you don't have to extend or deepen the tube wells or extend the pipes below the ground. So if that's the case, you can decide that, okay, for this particular source, perhaps a recharge structure is not required. But our advice would be that even if that's not the case, the stress may not be there today, but it can always arise tomorrow if you don't take adequate measures. And therefore the approach should be, let's have at least one recharge structure identified for each of the groundwater sources. Let's have the catchment area treatment plan for the spring-based sources for each of the sources, even if they are, today. Then these recharge structures.
జూమ్ లో అటెండ్ అవుతున్నాడు, నేను జూమ్ లో అటెండ్ అవుతుండాలి, నువ్వేం పర్వాలేదు, మామూలుగానే వెళ్ళు.
Yeah, each of these recharge structures will then have to be assessed in terms of what needs to be done to maximize recharge. These may be, existing water bodies which may have to be desilted to take out the top layer of the bed of the water body to make percolation better. These could be new water bodies. These could even be direct recharge structures, about which the engineers would be well aware. The direct recharge structures can be funded through the funds available under the Jal Jeevan Mission. Whereas other types of structures, the funds will have to be mobilized from NREGA or from 15th Finance Commission. As you are aware, 60% of the 15th Finance Commission funds are tied to water and sanitation. 30% for water, 30% for sanitation, though of course these can be used interchangeably. So please take a look at what needs to be done. Tie up the resources, get the plans approved. These will have to be implemented by Gram Panchayats largely, so they will have to become a part of the GPDP, etc. Set the ball rolling. Try and complete as much as can be done before the onset of monsoon. In our guidance note, we have said 30th of June, but then the date of arrival of monsoons varies across the country. So in your context, please take a look how much time is left and try and do the maximum that can be done. We've also advised the states to post Jal Shakti fellows from the resources available under the Jal Jeevan Mission. So in every district, there is a district program management unit. We've asked the states that, if required, they can supplement and appoint an additional person as Jal Shakti fellow. These are largely on the lines of the PMRDF, the Prime Minister's Rural Development Fellows, which have been made available to the aspirational districts in the past. We've also said that, if it takes time and so by the time a new fellow comes in, somebody who is adequately knowledgeable in the DPMU can be also designated as a Jal Shakti fellow. The idea is to set up some support system for the district collectors so that the information reports, etc., can be compiled and the program can be reviewed, given that we have a very short window of opportunity for undertaking the works. So that in a nutshell, summarizes everything. There will be deputation of central nodal officers for your districts. The list is already issued by the DOPT. I'm sure by now you are aware about who is the central nodal officer. Please reach out to the central nodal officer, explain to them and brief them about your plans and progress. Uh, the CNOs will be visiting your districts. So if there's any issue that needs to be taken up at the respective state governments level or needs to be flagged to us, either at the National Water Mission or at the Jal Jeevan Mission, please do brief your CNOs and feel free to reach out to us. In terms of monitoring and reporting, we do have the HGJ app through which the geotagging information and even information regarding identified recharge structures can be captured. However, this is a new system and therefore working out APIs to reflect your progress in the campaign on the Jal Shakti Abhiyan portal might be a bit challenging and may take a bit of time. And therefore, what we have decided is that we have developed a checklist for the theme of source sustainability of drinking water, which has been shared with you. And that a progress report as of now, perhaps on a weekly or a fortnightly basis, should come in that format. Should be sent to the National Water Mission, which is the nodal agency for the JSACTR. You could also endorse a copy to us, and we'll be very happy to support and extend any kind of support that we can. So that's about it, Archana. How do we go about it? Do we take questions if there are any on the theme and then go into the overarching aspects of JSACTR through the presentation?
See, Vikas, since you have to leave, what we'll do is, in case before we start a presentation on National Water Mission, since Vikas has to leave, in case any of you have any issues with regard to the Jal Jeevan Mission, please ask Vikas, sir.
Okay, while people think about the questions, just another thing to supplement. The JJM IMIS will provide you the details of the sources that are already entered in the information management system of the Jal Jeevan Mission. We have details of around 7.3 lakh pipe water supply schemes in the system, and almost all the schemes have identified, tagged sources, whether being groundwater sources or spring sources or surface water sources. So you will have the base numbers from the JJM IMIS, so that you can start benchmarking in terms of the extent to which things have been tied up and extent of the progress made. Looks like we don't have any questions at this point, Archana.
Okay, so then
even if I leave, we have two colleagues from the JJM who are also in the conference. I can see Mr. Muralidharan, who is an advisor at the NJJM. He has joined, and Ranjit Kumar, who is the director in NJJM. He is also available. Please do feel free to post your questions in the chat box. As long as I'm here, I'll try and respond in the chat box so things can go on, as per the schedule. And if there's any question, please now or even later, please feel free to reach out to us.
thank you, Vikas. Now we will start with our presentation. So since I have a captive audience, as I always say, we will not just talk about the Jal Shakti Abhiyan. I will also talk about the National Water Mission, because wherever I go, I am asked, who are you? Are you MD Namami Gange? Are you MD Jal Jeevan Mission? So I have to keep telling them that no, there is something called the National Water Mission, which exists under which is the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, which is just one of the components. So I will start with my presentation, and thank you for a patient listening. I would request everybody to please mute their mics. So, as Vikas has already said that under the National Water Mission, that's our mascot Piku, which is a peacock, and we want it all. I want this, go back. I want Piku to be publicized by all of you. We have made some lovely videos on Jal Itihas with Piku, talking about catching the rain, rainwater harvesting, saving water in general. So Vikas has already said that Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain 2023, our main theme is source sustainability for drinking water. But another sub-theme is Jal Shakti se Nari Shakti and Nari Shakti se Jal Shakti. Because we want all the districts to please propagate this slogan, as water and women are very, very interlinked, and research and studies have proven that wherever women have been involved in the ownership or conservation of water world over, it has yielded better results. Next. So before I start with talking about Jal Shakti Abhiyan, many of us, since we've grown up around rivers, I'm from Bihar, my Kader is Assam. So I always see a lot of surplus water. I never used to think that, water should not be wasted, because I come from that background where water as a limited resource which may end has never struck my mind. So that is why I'm going to talk to you about some data which are very startling, which will make you aware that, boss, if you don't save water, your kids will not have water. Because first, it's water. Another problem in water is that it's as per the constitution, except for interstate river disputes and those things, most of the subjects are in the state list. So, but it is a national concern, because even studies have said that in case there's water scarcity, then our economic growth will be stalled. I mean, that's no rocket science. All of you will understand that. So India occupies 2.4% of the geographical area, 18% of the global population, 18% of the global livestock, which is another major consumer of water, and only 4% of the fresh water resources. So as per our population, our water resources are not commensurate. Next. As Vikas has already said, that there's spatial and temporal variation, which is being exacerbated by the effects of the climate change, melting of glaciers. Within 15 days, almost 80 to 90% of our rainfall falls, though it has to be the major, time is June to September, but it is only within 15 days. Plus, as you can see, there is not only spatial, but also temporal variation. Some of the density of the population, as you can see across the Himalayan, in the northern basin of the Ganga, you can see the density, then again in Kerala. So we have the spatial and temporal variation of rainfall, and that is why we have preponed the inaugural of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan this year, so that you get more time to prepare. 31st March was the last date for your preparation, and according to our timeline, you should have been in the implementation phase by now. So this spatial and temporal variation, along with the effects of climate change, because you have larger dry spells, like there was rain in Delhi in April, which is so sudden. So you have all these, very strange phenomenons which are occurring, that makes our task and that makes your task even more difficult. Next. Now, if you look at this data, you will be surprised to know that out of the 20 odd river basins that we have, only 7 are not in the water stress or water scarce category. I mean, Brahmaputra, Assam, which is my cadre, and Barak, 2 rivers to are in Assam only, which are not in the. Now, what is water stress? Water stress is when your level of water is 1700 meter cube per year, is the per capita water availability. And water scarce is when it is 1000 meter cube per year is your per capita water availability. So you look at the region where you come from and you shall see that, look at Ganga, it's much below the water scarce level. And why is it so? Because of urbanization, high population density, industrialization. So much of it, most of the rivers are, the major rivers are in the water stress category. Next. Now, the NCI, WRD and ICAR research says that whatever we do, our water availability will always be 1126 billion cubic meter. I mean, 2-3 billion cube here and there, but 1126 will always be the water which we can use. Whereas our demand will go to 1180 BCM. So where will we get the water unless, we start producing, like I think in some regions, in some countries, it's happening, water out of thin air, or sending pilots to put salt in clouds, like I think I saw in United Arab Emirates. So unless, those kind of jugglery is done, which India doesn't have the resources to do that, and plus I don't think it's very sustainable, we are going to fall short. Where will we get the water? And this is more acute because of the spatial and temporal variations. Like Assam may not be needing, or Barak may not be needing, but Rajasthan, many areas would, Haryana would. So this is an pan-India figure. Add to it your regional variation. Plus, it is said that most of it will be on irrigation, the projected water demand, and irrigation will be the major factor of consumption, and agriculture. And because our food grain demand is going to grow from 300 to 450 MT. That is why under Jal Shakti Abhiyan, we have also done intersectoral convergence with the Department of Agriculture, and especially with the Atal Bhujal Yojana. Some of your districts may also be under the Atal Bhujal Yojana. 80 districts, I think, are under the Atal Bhujal Yojana. So under that, what we are saying is grow millets. I know that unless government gives MSPs for millet production, which it has started, there are some incentives. You can look up the Agriculture Department websites. You can grow millets. You can also grow horticulture. Try for crop diversification in your district if you can, even on a PAN basis. On a pilot basis, it may just help. So crop diversification is very important, because what we have now realized that only looking at the supply side of, like schemes like Jal Jeevan Mission, getting water to the taps in your household, only if we look at that, to fir pani kahan se pipe mein aayega wahan pe jaane ke liye. So we also have to look at the demand side and reduce the demand. And I will talk about the Bureau of Water Use Efficiency and how we are, also focusing on not only the supply side, but also the reduction in demand. Next. Now, with those objectives, the National Water Mission was launched in 2011 with 5 goals. The first was that water data should be in public domain, and there should be assessment of the impact of the climate change which has happened. Then goal 2, under which the Jal Shakti Abhiyan has been launched, is the promotion of citizen and state action for water conservation, augmentation, and preservation. Because as Honorable PM keeps on saying, that unless we involve communities, if water has to become everyone's business, then the communities have to be involved. There's a limit to which the government can, go on having policies for water if it doesn't get into the heads of people that we have to save water and also reduce our consumption, even if it is as little as, taking shorter showers, closing the tap. Then the third is focused attention to vulnerable areas, which is what this year's JSA theme is, that we are focusing on your water, on your district, because it is one water stressed for the Jal Jeevan mission. And this is where on goal 4, we are going to focus on demand reduction, which is increasing water use efficiency by 20%. It is said that if we increase water use efficiency in irrigation, through drip irrigation, through sprinkler irrigation, zero liquid discharge by industries, then it can lead to a lot of saving, recycling, recharging, reusing treated water. It can lead to a lot of the reduction in demand, and thereby that 1180 we may not be needed if we reduce our demand. And fifth is that to look at water as a hydrological unit of at the basin level, not in parts like Ganga UP में बहती है तो हमको जो मन करेगा करेंगे, West Bengal opposition में है तो उनको जो मन करेगा करेंगे, बिहार भी इधर है, वैसा नहीं. To all to come together, because river does not recognize boundaries. It is us who have battered her into states and districts, but river flows. So it is to look at basin level integrated water resource management. Next. So it was with the clarion call given by Honorable PM, the Jan Shakti for Jal Shakti, to involve. It all started with, with a small thing of trying to develop a respect for your traditional water bodies. So he gave a call for conservation of water and, for going in for innovative methods. So with this statement, this Abhiyan was born. Next. And Jal Shakti 2019 was only limited to 1592 blocks in 256 districts in 36 states UTs. And these were the districts with least groundwater availability. And 1186 blocks were overexploited and 312 blocks were critical. So I don't know whether you are one of those. In all probability you would be. And the measures which were the focus areas were water conservation, rainwater harvesting, intensive afforestation, and watershed development, reuse and recharge of bore wells, and renovation of traditional and other water bodies. And it had a beautiful impact. Some states like UP, I think West Bengal, and I think Bihar or some other state, they went beyond the Jal Shakti Abhiyan and they launched their own also. So it was a huge success. Next. But in 2022, it came with the tag, in 2020, it came with the tagline, catch the rain where it falls, when it falls. And that is when Piku was born. And, the whole, it was Honorable PM gave this call that, save every drop, catch it where it falls so that, you can use it later. And a new concept which was introduced was enumeration and geotagging of water bodies. Because you see, the data that we have in water is so scattered, it is so different. Like we are right now struggling with an NRSA data and our minor irrigation data and the state data, and nothing seems to match. So that is why I think our IT division is working on an integrated data management, but at least we should start small, start at least enumerating and geotagging our water bodies. Then removal and encroachment and desilting of tanks was another area. This was in addition to whatever was in 2019. Obstructions in channel, repair of traditional water bodies, rejuvenation of rivulets, and conservation and restoration of wetlands. This was the theme. But what happened? COVID happened, and therefore it majorly remained in the sense of webinars and support of governments and some awareness generation. Then in 2021, next, the Jal Shakti Abhiyan came with a very, very important component, which I want you all to focus on, is setting up of Jal Shakti Kendra. They were called rain centers at that time, but for us, the game changer will be the Jal Shakti Kendra and the geotagging. So I want you all, we are also proposing awards this year, which I will talk about later, was on setting up of Jal Shakti Kendra, which will be a one-stop solution for technical, behavioral, constructional, just like the Krishi Vigyan Kendra. It will be a knowledge information center. And we have circulated a guideline which we want all of you to read, so that you familiarize yourself. And as DCs, we may go on screaming we don't have resources, but we do. So we right now we are not giving money, but we don't know, since this is really our focus area, we may think of a big scheme launch. But right now we are requesting you to converge your resources and set up this Jal Shakti Kendra. And you will see, once you set up this, half your problems will be solved. Then intensive, the other things was there. And enumeration, geotagging is another, inventorization of water bodies is another very important component. And of course, district scientific plan for water conservation. I am really sad to know that we have 630 Jal Shakti Kendra now, but we only have around 256 water conservation plans in total. And so that's something, because you see, if you just start khodoing gadha under Amrit Sarovar without looking at whether it's technically feasible कि next season में वो silt बंद हो जाएगा, whether उसका कोई ownership है कि नहीं, without planning, I think first you have to think in your head, you have to think in your mind to then do with your hands, is how I always go about, and I think how most of you go about. And there have been some DMs who've done such fantastic work. Yesterday we had this presentation from Chhatarpur DM of Madhya Pradesh and Prakasam of Andhra Pradesh. And their whole success was on these water conservation plans. And in fact, this guy has done very well on Jal Shakti Kendra also. DM Chhatarpur, Sanjay, GR Sandeep, yes. So next. Then in 2020, basically the same interventions with the additional feature that our funding source gave. Because abhi tak we were just bulldozing, bullying, like I only have a 15 crore but I have the mandate to bully all the other schemes. So Amrit Sarovar came, and that led to a lot of expenditure. And then we realized that, in Jal Shakti Abhiyan, the whole focus was on desert area on the western part, but there was not much focus on the northeast and the hilly areas. And so the focus came with spring sheds, which are the main source of groundwater in your Himalayan region, especially in the northeastern hilly areas. So spring shed development is also a very, very important component. And of course, protection of water catchment areas, because you see, if you can stabilize your catchment, then half your work is done. So those were the 2022 Jal Shakti Abhiyan focused intervention and achievements. I mean, we needn't say. Next. So this is the most important. Please, I have ensured that through your mail you get this guideline, because we're going to rework on this guideline also. Look at these guidelines, and if you can really set up a functional Jal Shakti Kendra, which is also, which has a huge footfall in a place where people go, because right now we are getting examples of Jal Shakti Kendra, which is in a PHED or a water resource department where nobody goes. So we have given you the whole framework, which gives the objective, which gives the function, which gives the idea about how to resource mobilize, and we also give a ballpark financial estimate. So that is on JSA. Next. Bureau of Water Use Efficiency. I'm very actually this is another big thing, because it was constituted in October 20th with the objective that 5 R's: reuse, reduce, recycle, recharge, and respect water. So this Bureau of Water Use Efficiency is especially going to be focusing on agriculture, industry, domestic, and looking at how to reuse, recycle, recharge water. We are also going to look at water auditing. We are going to look at water footprint. We are going to look at water budgeting. So we are trying to reduce the demand so that it doesn't reach 1180, because then we won't have the water. Please remember, your kids will be, in a really bad space. So if not for yourself, for your future generation, I think you have to start thinking about reducing your consumption of water, and you can start with your own house. Get all your fixtures, just a small addition of a nozzle can reduce up to 80% water. So in your taps, you can introduce the nozzle. If you just shower for 5-10 minutes, then you reduce your consumption by, or if you do bucket bathing, that is much better. So in your toilets also, you can, start like in Japan, they have wash basin water going into the toilets. So you can, also promote all these innovations, which the PM said that start using innovative measures for demand reduction. Next. Then all these ideas have come through this first ever All India State Ministers Conference on Water, where for the first time in the history of the Jal Shakti Ministry, 3 ministers came: PHED, Water Resources, Irrigation. In the states, you may not be talking, but here we have a beautiful integration with not only within the Jal Shakti Ministry, but with 12-13 other ministries who are all onboarded and are really supporting us. So one of the recommendations was, which launched the JSA on source sustainability, was this mapping of health of drinking water sources. So that is why we have gone in for the JSA 2023. Next. These are just some pictures to show that, nobody below PM or President inaugurates our Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So since it's so important for the government, so must it be for you. Next. these are the features of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan 2023. As you can see, apart from the afforestation and other features, those are not like, gone. But Jal Shapat is something which we want you to focus on, because you see, I always believe that we live in our minds. And if our minds become tuned, you have seen Cambridge Analytica and all those, even influencing voting behavior. So we can always influence it for a good cause, for, influencing water saving behavior. So also start to have innovative strategies to ghusao it in the minds. So source sustainability is one, Amrit Sarovar is another. Spring shed development, I would specially urge the Northeast and hilly states to please look at it. Meghalaya has some beautiful practices, my batchmate Shakil is Principal Secretary, Water Resources. He is so excited about water that he is also Home Secretary, Principal Secretary. He's saying, I will dump home, Archana, I just want to get into this sector. I have become obsessed. So he came with such beautiful practices which the community is doing there. They themselves are charging each other for use of water. I mean, the government, but then Northeast always had a very strong community participation. Then protection of water catchment areas is also, yesterday I heard a beautiful presentation by DM Prakasam, Dinesh, who talked about, Dinesh tha ya Chhatarpur, the ridge to valley approach. Chhatarpur. So he has, cleared the whole encroachment from the ridge to valley. So there are beautiful works going on. We have some beautiful articles, guidelines. All of us are on Twitter, Facebook. Our website is very vibrant. And please go and look up if you want any guidance. Half of it you'll find there. We have booklets of people who've done well. We have advertised that. Then next. Now, this is from where Vikas has to take over, but since Vikas is not there, since he had to leave, I will focus on why you have been selected to be called here. Because though JSA is a pan-India thing, this is your main doing. I mean, this you will have to focus on. So these are the statistics that most of us are dependent on groundwater. And this is how Vikas has already said, you have been selected and the approach has to be community driven. And we have already circulated the guideline. Jal Shakti Fellows guidelines have also been submitted, and this has to be time-bound implementation. And monitoring also, we are going to show you the that we have, the checklist, but that is for later. Next. We have also sent you joint DO letters, which 12 secretaries have written to you. So, and we have nominated the CNOs and the TOs, that is the Central Nodal Officer for your district and the Technical Officer for your district. And Shiv Mohan Dikshit, who is sitting to my right, will be the nodal person coordinating, and JP Singh, who's sitting to my right or your left, is the main person who will be handling the whole of Jal Shakti Abhiyan. But this special thing is being handled by Shiv. So we are always there to help you. We work 24/7. I'm going to make a WhatsApp group and we will share whatever information you have and whatever we have or queries you have will be through the WhatsApp group. My only request is most of the DCs don't have time. So if you're not one of those WhatsApp crazy like me, then you please also nominate us here, another officer. but you have to be there. So we are collecting your phone numbers and we are going to make a WhatsApp group soon. And SNOs will be visiting you 2 times, one before and one after. We don't want you to lose focus on Jal Shakti se Nari Shakti. And we also want you to popularize Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav because it comes from the very top directions. So please do it. And Gram Sabhas and Jal Shapats, you were to, actually as per the timeline, you were to have a Gram Sabha, thoda dheere karo na, please. You were to have a Gram Sabha on 22nd of March, which is, thank you, World Water Day. In log ko bata dijiye na, presentations ke समय na aaye. Anyway, then, and you have to proactively lead the campaign. And I'm also very, very happy to see that at least, 6 districts have already submitted. Next. Preparation, so already Vikas has talked about geotagging, planning, completion, source protection, identification of monitoring sites, use of funds, converge करें, हमसे कुछ ना पैसे ना मांगे, चाहे कुछ और मांग लें. And especially Gram Panchayats, it has to be community led because it's a abhiyan and abhiyan doesn't exist without community. And of course, capacity building of key stakeholders. But it's not that we are only lecturing you and giving you golas and topoing you with mane topi nahi pehna rahe hain. If you need help, we are always there. Next. Now, these were the timelines. I don't know how many of you have adhered to it. अगर अब आए ना, बस आप रुक जाइए, ठीक है? हम जब बोलेंगे तो आए. How can you have such people जो instruction? Just close the door. Now I'm happy to say that Kodarma, North Tripura, Bamtara in Chhattisgarh, Kifire in Nagaland, Soreng in Sikkim, and Puducherry. These are the people who have sent us this preparation and planning checklist. So a big thank you if you are here. We are indeed very grateful. So they are the 6-7 districts have adhered. Otherwise, just look at the checklist. And these are the key performance indicators on which at the end of the year, you will be getting an award. Number of, we will be giving 2 awards on, no, 3 awards on each of the key performance indicator, the best district. Number of recharge structures constructed, strengthened, number of springs rejuvenated, revived, percentage of sources and recharge structures geotagged, and percentage of sources with adequate arrangements for source protection. Also on your, the district plan, conservation plan, and also on your Jal Shakti Kendra. So abhi we are in the process of formalizing which are the categories under which we should award, but we are going to specifically award from amongst the 150 districts. Maybe we will go in for Northeast hilly states separate. We don't know, but for sure there will be awards because whatever you may say or do, awards are a big incentive. Next. Now these I will not go through because he has already explained all this in detail. We will be sharing with you. Without your role, PM, CM, DM bolte log, without you, nothing happens. And so these are the works which are important. And next. Okay. Now I will come to the checklist. So this is the checklist which we have prepared. Since as Vikas has already said, there's no time for us to, make it web linked or e-linked. So right now we have a very simple checklist. We will be making a small on the NWM website, which we, so that you can just manually upload it. And I want it on every fortnight, 1st of every month and 15th of every month, because we really are, short of time. So these are the checklists which you will be doing for the JJM part. And the next checklist is already there. In this, you don't have to do anything except for maybe 1 or 2 parameters. It's already being uploaded by all of you. So the JSA part. So on this, not much work, but checklist 1, you really need to work on that. And so our md.nwm.gov.in is our email ID. Till we put it on the NWM website and till we converge it with JJM so that, you know, it becomes all very real time. This is the small checklist that you have to fill up, and it's based on trust, boss, because there's nothing real time about it. So please don't betray our trust. Trust begets trust. So next. So thank you. I think I've spoken a lot, and we leave it to you. Piku ka, go to our Jal Itihas portal and promote these in schools. Thank you so much. And after this, we have a presentation from DM. I think the other one has not come now. DM Jhansi, Dr. Ravinder or Junaid Ahmed. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So Ravinder, you can start.
Yes, ma'am. DM sir is engaged in election-related activities, ma'am. So he asked me to present.
So you are Junaid?
Yes, ma'am. I'm CDO here.
Okay. So Junaid Ahmed, welcome, please.
Okay.
Screen is all yours, but you can't take as much time as I did.
Sure, ma'am. I'll just wrap it up in 5 minutes.
No. Utna bhi nahi. Take 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
म्यूट नहीं कर सकते. So good morning, everyone. I'm Junaid Ahmed. I'm the CDO here. I'm presenting the progress of District Jhansi. Ma'am, in District Jhansi, total 8 blocks are there. Around 9. PPTs यहाँ से कंट्रोल नहीं. कंट्रोल यहाँ से. Next. Hello. Next. Okay, so वो sharing screen नहीं है भाई से. Okay. So in Jhansi, ma'am, total 8 blocks हैं. Jhansi की total population 19 lakhs के around है. Next. मेनली मैम ये 4 ब्लॉक्स जो है हमारे वो क्रिटिकल सेमी क्रिटिकल में आते हैं. बबीना है, मौरानीपुर है, बंगरा और बड़ा गांव. यहाँ पे वाटर कंजम्पशन जो है वो ज्यादा है. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट दे आर इन सेमी क्रिटिकल. तो हम लोग ने मेनली इन्हीं 4 जो ब्लॉक्स हैं उन पे फोकस किया है. इसमें मैम कई सारे डिपार्टमेंट्स के साथ हम लोग कन्वर्जेंस कर रहे हैं एंड वी हैव सीन गुड रिजल्ट्स. उसमें यहाँ पे रिवर रेजुविनेशन में मैम आई वांट टू टेल कि यहाँ पे कनेरा नदी थी जो बबीना में फ्लो करती है 8 किलोमीटर के अराउंड. वो विलुप्त हो चुकी थी ऑलमोस्ट. सो वी टुक इट अप एज अ टारगेट एंड 8 किलोमीटर्स की वो है 82 lakhs
हम लोगों ने नरेगा और कन्वर्जेंस से यूज करके उसको रिवाइव करा, और अभी वो उसमें पानी का फ्लो काफी अच्छा है। इसके अलावा मौरानीपुर में और मौरानीपुर और बंगरा 2 ब्लॉक और हैं जहाँ पे 2 नदी और हमने ली है, सुकनई और लखेरी रिवर। वो भी उनका भी जो डेप्थ है और विड्थ है वो काफी कम हो गई थी, एंड वाटर फ्लो काफी कम हो गया था, एंड वो उस एरिया के लिए काफी इम्पोर्टेंट थी। तो वो भी हमने अभी मनरेगा में ली है, और उसकी भी एक डिटेल्ड रिपोर्ट बनाई है, और उसका काम भी अभी हम लोगों ने शुरू कर दिया है। तो ये बेसिकली 4 ब्लॉक्स जो है इन पे हमारा फोकस है। और झांसी की टोपोग्राफी मैम उस वे में ग्राउंड वाटर इतना अवेलेबल नहीं है, तो हमें सरफेस वाटर पे डिपेंडेंट रहना पड़ता है, और स्पेशली जो बबीना ब्लॉक है यहाँ का और बड़ा गांव ब्लॉक है वहां पे, तो हमारे लिए कैच द रेन और ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, क्योंकि उसमें हम लोग ग्राउंड वाटर उतना वहां से ले नहीं सकते हैं। नेक्स्ट, ये मैम कुछ एक्टिविटीज हैं जो हम लोगों ने यहाँ पे टेकअप की थी। उसमें बेसिकली झांसी में मैम काफी सारे तालाब हैं, चंदेल कालीन और पुराने जो राजाओं ने डिग कराए थे बड़े बड़े तालाब हैं, उनमें किसी ना किसी वजह से सिल्टेशन और वो रहता है। तो अराउंड 51 ऐसे तालाब हैं जो हमने टेकअप किए हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स में हम लोग कुछ फोटोज भी हैं जो उसमें हमने लगाए हैं, जिसमें हमने नरेगा से और ग्राम।
Excuse me, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. This is from Lunglei, Mizoram. Could you please, since the presentation itself is in Hindi, could you please, deliver it in English so that we can also understand? Seems to be
Speak
a
in
very
English.
Sure, ma'am, sure. So we have taken up different activities in the district. Actually, UP में हिंदी में presentations and all होती हैं, तो I thought I'll continue in Hindi, but as not many people understand from different states, so I'll take it up in English. So ma'am, we have taken up different activities in the district. So in Jhansi district, there are a lot of ponds which are very old, and around 51 ponds are there, which we have taken up, big ponds, more than 15 hectares of land. So we have taken up Narega, and we have taken up river rejuvenation measures. I've already spoken about it. 3 rivers we have taken in the district: Kanera, Suknai, and Lakheri river. Afforestation programs have been taken up by different departments. Next. So these are the different departments which are responsible for different activities in the district. Next. This is the report of minor irrigation department, ma'am. Check dams in 2021, 31 was the target. 23 were completed. Whatever amount we got, we used it, and we completed these check dams. In 2022, 8 check dams we have got, and we have completed those. And pond rejuvenation, 14 were taken up by MI. Those were completed in the district. Next. These are some of the works in Jhansi that have been done by minor irrigation department. Next. This is the check dam in Babina block. Next. Next. MI has taken up rooftop rainwater harvesting system also, and other departments also they're using their resources for this. So our target was around 211 that was given to us, and we have completed more than 170 rooftop rainwater harvesting structures. Here I also want to tell ma'am, in Jhansi we have got incentive of Atal Bhujal Yojana also. In that also we have got target of rainwater harvesting structures in 31 villages of Babina and Mauranipur block, which are in semi-critical state. So in that around 71 rainwater harvesting structures have been taken up under Atal Bhujal Yojana, and they are on the verge of completion. Also in Atal Bhujal Yojana, we have taken up 14 Amrit Sarovars, big Amrit Sarovars, the incentive which we have got in that scheme, and they'll be completed within a month or 2. Next. These are some photos of rooftop rainwater harvesting. Next. 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 This is about the irrigation department, ma'am. One check dam was taken up by irrigation department. Next. This is in Badagaon block. It's an old check dam which was in dilapidated condition. So irrigation department took it up and the work was completed in 2022. And this check dam caters to around 84 hectares of land there, which comes under irrigation through this check dam. Next. These are the numbers of horticulture department, ma'am. Drip sprinkler irrigation was taken up because in Jhansi water resources are not much, so we can't be dependent on borewell irrigation. So to reduce the water utilization, we use drip sprinkler and mini sprinkler, and the target which was there around 3,394 hectare that is completed in 2022-2023. Next. These are some photographs of horticulture department afforestation that was done through them. Next. Next. Next scheme is about Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana Khet Talab. Bhumi Sarakshan department is there who has taken up this thing. In this 588 around khets were taken up, and around 314 have been completed. Whatever money we got in this 480 lakh rupees, we have used it, and now we are regularly reviewing this scheme also, because in development meetings which are taken up in the district, this scheme is very much in focus, because the farmers here, they demand this thing, that incentive should be given for digging up of their talab. So we have written to the state government also to release more funds into this, so that the money can be given to the farmers. Next. These are some of the pictures, the talab which were made on their own land of farmers. Next. Regarding Amrit Sarovar, it was taken up by the Rural Development Department of Jhansi. Good work has been done in this also, ma'am. The target was to have one Amrit Sarovar in one Gram Panchayat. So we took up around 192 talabs which were taken up for the development in this scheme, and around 136 Amrit Sarovars have been completed, and work is going on in the rest of them, and they'll be completed shortly. So good work has been done in Amrit Sarovar also in the district. Next. These are some of the pictures of Amrit Sarovars that have been constructed. This particular Amrit Sarovar is in Bachavli Buzurg. It's next to the main highway which connects to Kanpur, and many people have come and visited this. Next. This is another photo of an Amrit Sarovar in Jhansi. Next. Next. This about the forest department afforestation that has been done by them. Around 23 lakhs Pauda Ropan has been done by them. Next. These are some of the pictures. Next. Next. Ma'am, these are the details of Atal Bhujal Yojana that is there in Jhansi. Good work is going on in this also. As I've already told, 31 Gram Panchayats have been taken up in those two blocks which are semi-critical in Jhansi. So 14 Amrit Sarovars have been taken up, and 71 rainwater harvesting structures have been taken up in the district. And the incentive part that has been given to us through Atal Bhujal Yojana, we are using that, and this work also will get completed in a month or two. Will complete it. Next. This is a new talab that has been taken up in Atal Bhujal Yojana. Next. So also in drought mitigation measures, a scheme was made up and it has been forwarded to the state government. There's ample land in Jhansi, so digging can be done here and big talabs can be made. So in drought mitigation measure also, DMs have forwarded these 5 talabs which were big, very big in area, more than 15 hectares of land, 10 hectares of land to be taken up, and money has been demanded from the state government for this work also. Next. These are the details of those 3 rivers which I talked about. The rejuvenation which was taken up in the district. Kanera, the first river which is in Babina, work has almost been completed. Around 8 kilometers of river, it has been revived, and two other rivers, Lakheri and Suknai. The DPR has been made around 10 crores in Lakheri river, and Suknai river 8 crores. It is taken up in convergence through Manrega and Gram Panchayat. Next. This is the river which I talked about, Kanera river, which has been revived. Next. This is the picture of a Chandel Kalin Talab which I talked about, around 51 which are there in Jhansi. So it was all filled up with water hyacinth and algae was there. So it was all it was not clean at all. So it was taken up. And the good part of this Talab is that we didn't use much resources of the government for it. Jan Abhiyan, we made it, and the local people, they use their labor for cleaning it up. And Chief Secretary sir visited Jhansi 10-15 days back, and he visited this place, and he really praised the efforts of people there. As people themselves, they took up this task of cleaning up that pond in their area. Next. This is the picture of that Amrit Sarovar, which is in Lahir Thakurpula. That it was all green. Nothing was visible few months back in this talab. So good work has been done in this also, ma'am. Next. Thank you, ma'am. This was all about Jhansi, the works that have been done here, and minor irrigation department told me that GIS mapping, which was supposed to be done of all the water bodies, and the report that they were supposed to give, that has not been received in Jhansi yet. So we are waiting for that.
And
Thank you, ma'am.
You know, the achievements look spectacular, but when we have these kind of meetings, what we are looking for is, like the previous presenters in the other meeting were, what we are looking for is issues. So can you just tell me what are the issues that you face in the implementation of the Jal Shakti Abhiyan, which can also include Narega, Atal Bhujal, Jal Jeevan Mission? Like, first that question. Second is, what are the measures you've taken for sustainability? Because in the presentation, it looked like a one-off approach. So what have you done for sustainability, and whether one talab in each panchayat, have you done some technical study, or is it just a political gimmick? So on these issues, can you respond, Junaid?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, issues that came up during the implementation of different schemes, I'll take up like, ma'am, river rejuvenation I will talk about. So we took up this Suknai and Lakheri river. These are big rivers. So what we did, we asked every Gram Panchayat to make their own kind of DPR, how much stress they'll clean it up through Narega. But the issue which we faced, and the people are saying that it's a big river and the project can't be taken up by Gram Panchayats or Block Panchayats. You need expertise in that to clean up that river. So we asked irrigation department to do the same, but irrigation department was not very willing to do it because they have to make their own DPR and they have to engage their manpower into it. So in river cleaning or river rejuvenation, I found it a problem. until unless it's not taken up by a technical person or a technical department, वो ग्राम पंचायत लेवल पे उतने अच्छे से it doesn't get executed. So this issue I face. Then ma'am, these rainwater harvesting structures. So I visited some places in Atal Bhujal also. We have got so many rainwater harvesting structures. What they have done is they have taken up on government buildings, schools, and these places. So वहां पे मैम स्ट्रक्चर का इशू आता है. The structures they have made in, suppose there's an open area जहाँ पे they're bringing that pipe down और वहां पे वो filtration chamber and they are making it up. तो they have utilized that area, and जो schools का जो एक पूरा playing area और वो होता था वो खराब हो जाता है. तो these kind of small issues came up rainwater harvesting structures में. और rainwater harvesting structures, especially in Jhansi, what happens कि there are stones or rocks beneath, so we can't dig deep into it. So वहां पे filtration chamber and ये चीज बनाना it gets difficult. So they are making a kind of structure, storage tanks kind of thing, जहाँ पे they can use rainwater, they can harvest rainwater. So in rainwater harvesting, these kind of issues came up. Talabs में ma'am, big ponds which are there, the issue of depth is there. So in drought mitigation measure, जो ma'am 5 talabs हैं जो DMs have forwarded. So he was of the view that they should be dug up to 5 meters so that they can store water for long. But there were technical issues in that beyond 3 meter, some issue comes up. MI was telling me about this. So 3 meter, 5 meter का वो issue रहता है, but water कितने time रह सकता है. तो these kind of problems were there उसमें. But coordination from different departments was taken up, and DM sir is also very keen for water conservation in this thing. So basically we have.
Yes,
I
don't want this scheme to flop after your DM leaves. So no DM, no personal achievement wala talk. You just tell me what are the issues, how have you done sustainability measures or community ownership? Have you involved women? Have you involved the panchayats? Have you told them that after 5 years this will need cleaning again and you may have to do it? Matlab, what is that? So we are not wanting to look at your achievements. Jhansi, it looks has done very well because you have 2 super officers, but we don't want Ajay Devgans and Salman Khan. We want that after you leave, that same focus should be, embedded in the minds of the community.
Ma'am, for example, for sustainability and community involvement, ma'am, Amrit Sarovars यहाँ पे काफी सारे बने हैं, 130 के around Amrit Sarovars हैं, and Atal Bhujal में भी वो लिया गया है. So what we have done here is community participation. उसमें जल सहेली का we came up with this concept. So there are women who wear blue saris and they have taken this onus on them. Whatever cleaning is being done here, whatever development is being done उस अमृत सरोवर में, it's their responsibility to ensure कि वहाँ पे उस तरीके की चीज दोबारा से नहीं हो. So वो लहर ठाकुरपुरा का the last picture which I showed you there also, it is under irrigation department and they have leased it out, but there was so much of algae and water hyacinth on that कि उसकी cleaning नहीं हो पा रही. So now they took up this responsibility कि we all, the people of that village will get involved into it and will clean it up. So administration का role was very limited in that. But these people themselves, they came out and they cleaned it up. And now the responsibility on those Jal Sahelis. So every Amrit Sarovar we have allocated to Jal Sahelis that this is your responsibility, and they're very keen into that one. So this is how community participation and people involvement we're doing in these areas. And
great.
The check dam.
Those are the things we want to know. When you make this is not an achievement that you can tom when we ask for the awards. But
Yes,
we want the issues. Do you have like you pointed out, a very good issue of river cleaning not being, feasible only through the Manrega component or little money that the panchayats have. So
Yes,
is type or Jal Saheli involvement, are they charging anything, or how are the Jal Sahelis? Because see, Jal Sahelis, do you give them any grant incentive, or do they have some resource to keep it clean? How
Ma'am,
are they sustaining it?
ma'am, they are part of SHG groups. So we have taken up those women who are very active in SHGs. So unka ek alag se group we have made of Jal Saheli. So we are not giving them any incentives, but we always bring them. Kabhi bhi aisa koi promotion hota hai ya hota hai,
Give
तो
them
that
importance.
yes ma'am. तो वो रहता है. So and ma'am, check dams यहाँ पे झांसी में there are a lot of check dams that those needs repair. So MI and other departments, they have limited resources, so they can't take it up उतने अच्छे से. So what we did, ग्राम प्रधान को and block उनको बुला के we did a meeting and we said that this is your responsibility to ensure कि वहाँ पे आपके area या गांव में जो भी check dams and आ रहे हैं उसमें कोई भी अगर रिपेयर ये होता है छोटा मोटा, that will be your responsibility. Otherwise what they used to do is कि they'll say कि this is MI work या different department was, and they don't used to take it up. So we have ensured that every gram panchayat where these check dams are there, gram pradhan and block person, they'll be responsible for it, और वो लोग छोटे मोटे repair कराएंगे. So that has also worked in our thing that कि वहाँ पे वो check dams का repair हो गया. So rather than leaving everything on the department, we can use the local panchayats, local people to work it out. That works better than completely being dependent on the department. So these kind of issues were there which we took up.
So great. See, what I see the pluses is that currently you have a very dynamic team. So, you know, everything is going hunky dory. You have a good community support in terms of Jal Sahelis, like which Bundelkhand also, you know, was mentioning. In fact, one of the Jal Sahelis, Ganga Rajput, was awarded also by us
Yes,
on 4th
yes,
of March. And but what I see missing in your is an integrated vision. I mean, you're doing it, you know, project wise.
Yes,
I see an integrated vision missing, and this, you know, a good data set on stuff. So those are things you can work on. But very good. Thank you, Junaid. Any other DC, CDO, executive engineer, anybody would like, please raise your hand in the box, and then APAC can connect you. Any issues, I think Ranjit is there, no? The director JJM is also there. So if you have any issues, please let us know.
Yes, ma'am. Can I come in? Dorji, madam.
No, Mr. Dorji, you cannot. First, DCs have to speak.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Any DC, any SC, any A. Because the Chitrakoot DM, I think, is not there, no? ये भाई इतना चुप्पी तो इतनी शांति तो अच्छी नहीं है मतलब आप लोग कुछ कर नहीं रहे हो. If you're
Good
so
morning, ma'am.
quiet, it's scary. Yes, who's this?
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम. मैम सीडीओ चित्रकूट बोल रही हूँ.
हाँ बताओ. तुम्हारे डीसी को करना था. करो उसको ऑन ये लाओ ना. ने ऊपर सीडीओ चित्रकूट को इस पे लाओ, पिन करो. हाँ बताओ. So what's your name?
Ma'am Amritpal Kaur.
Okay, Amrit, you have to speak in English because there are people from Northeast and South India also. So
Yes,
try
ma'am.
speaking in a mixed language. If you're comfortable, then it's okay. Otherwise, try putting in English words. And your DM was to be here, but can you make a small oral presentation?
Ma'am, I was just registering my presence since you mentioned DM Chitrakoot. That is why I just wanted to make sure that I'm registered here.
Okay. Any issue that you want to raise or anything?
Actually, ma'am, we have certain connectivity issues here, so we were able to join a little late. And I think we are a little behind in collection of data. I just wanted that if you could share some person who can guide us and regarding the feeding on portal also, the contact name and person.
Ranjit, are you there? Director JJM?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So this is from the National Jal Jeevan Mission, Director Ranjit Kumar.
Please come on video, Ranjit. Are you at home in your shots?
I am attending from the home, ma'am. Yesterday also I could attend.
चलो तो video पे आओ फिर.
Is
Come
it
on video.
visible, ma'am?
No, you're not visible. I don't know क्या होता है. So you have to help out CDO Chitrakoot because it seems Chitrakoot is looking a bit lost.
I would suggest that I will just share my email ID, and for the benefit of other districts also. So any issues they are facing as far as the convergence of funds, which can be one of the issues which I understand. And the second, which is highlighted by the Chitrakoot administration, that they are having some issues on updating the data. So these can be addressed to this email ID. I will just share my email ID on the chat box, and then from there they can just pick it up.
No, you can just read out your email ID also.
Right, ma'am. So this is DIR JJM, Director JJM, DIR JJM1 @gov.in.
And ours is md.nwm.gov.in. And I will be making a WhatsApp group in which the DM and the CDOs will be a part. And both these people, all JJM, Atal Bhujal Yojana, everybody will be a part. So Amrit, does that satisfy your curiosity, or do you have a specific issue? Data चाहिए तुमको कि safe, at risk, ये सब कैसे gauge करना? Is that what you want?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, we'll contact on the email ID, ma'am.
What?
Ma'am, we will contact on the email ID provided in case we have any other further doubts.
Please contact Ranjit, and WhatsApp group mein we will, because I'm seeing a lot of CDOs and ADCs here. So I will try that with the DM, the CDO or the ADC, whoever is in charge is also included. So don't worry, information will not be a problem. But you know, you needn't wait for the perfect. Perfect is enemy of good. Jo hai usi se start karo. Because your irrigation would know, your minor irrigation department
Yes,
would.
Ma'am, we had been involved in evaluation of the impact of water conservation efforts in last December, and we gauged that after last year's monsoon, 3 of our piezometers showed a rise in water level, and 2 of them showed fall in the water level. So that kind of evaluation we have done at our end, and hopefully it will also be helpful in our further efforts.
Okay. DC Longlui, where are you, since you were very intently listening? What I want one, at least somebody from the Northeast to speak on. Yes, Longlui. Usko put karo. Please unmute yourself and share what your year has been. Your name, please.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Who is the DC?
Ma'am, this is DC Longlang Dharamraj
Acha, Dharamraj.
from Nagaland. Yes, ma'am.
Haan.
Ma'am,
So,
we have done
Dharamraj,
taken
tell
up
me
around.
what is happening there?
Ma'am, we have done around 12 Amrit Sarovars in our district. We have some issues related to like the criteria of the Amrit Sarovar itself. Like the size of land we don't find in hilly areas. So we have modified the scheme accordingly, and we have rejuvenated some of our water bodies. So we have come up with 12 Amrit Sarovar this ponds, ma'am. Although I don't have any issues about the Amrit Sarovar scheme, but I have issues about the MIS, this GIS mapping of these Amrit Sarovars and the scientific plan we have to, every district has to make. So
Yeah.
ma'am, in Longling, we don't have any technical expertise,
Mm.
not even among the departments. We have water resource department, but they don't have any technical know-how of how to do it. So in this regard, we have taken up, I mean, we have done many meetings and they have contacted in Kohima also. And
Mhm.
from Kohima also, we have not received any response. So how to go about this GIS mapping and scientific action plan? So these are the issues, ma'am.
Okay, so for your because some of the districts, we have moved a file for giving you interns, with technical, who will help you technically. As Vikas has already said, that JAL fellows, what is it called?
That's JSACTR fellows. Ma'am.
So Ranjit, you have to specially ensure that Longlui gets a JAL fellow. If we have to bully Chief Secretary Nagaland, if we have to bully Chief Water Resource Secretary, we will. But this is a very important point that he has raised, the lack of technical expertise to, in some areas. So Ranjit, how do you want to respond?
Yes, ma'am. So I understand that not only for GIS mapping, there might be gaps in resource person for other areas also. And to cater that, considering the constraint of time, what Jal Jeevan Mission has been doing, that they conduct training programs, sometimes virtual mode, sometimes it is conducted in the state headquarters. And since the WhatsApp group will be created, so that will serve as a platform to disseminate the timing, the information that when such kind of webinar or such kind of training programs are happening. A few days back, such training program was organized in
Ranjit,
Assam.
1 minute, Ranjit. Those kind of training programs will not give them that kind of technical expertise, na?
So that was one aspect, ma'am. The second aspect, as you have indicated, ma'am, that the Jal Shakti fellows and other HR persons, so those things are being strengthened at the district unit itself. And there is sufficient fund provisioning for that. The districts can take support of. From here, we will take up with the Nagaland government that they should be able to utilize the funds which we have
Are
been.
the funds going directly to the district? Because in Assam, there was a time when funds, were routed through the state treasury and they never went to the district.
So for Jal Jeevan Mission, ma'am, since it is a mission mode program, so that treasury mode has been dispensed with. We are giving it directly to the SNA account, and from there the state coordinators are maintaining just a single account. Districts can just avail that single account. From there, they can just withdraw it. So that time lag is also not there. The amount of fund is also not.
Who is the SNA for Nagaland?
So we will have to, since I am not looking after Nagaland as a state, I will just find it out, ma'am, and I will get in touch with these people, whoever are raising such issues.
Chitrakoot and Nagaland are two people, yeah. And not only Nagaland, I think most of the northeastern districts, like he said, you need to modify your measurement for Amrit Sarovar, not you, but MORD. Because कितना है 1 acre or something ना उतना तो जगह ही नहीं मिलेगा.
On that, I think in another discussion it was suggested that if they can do 1 acre or even if it is slightly less than that, but they should try to maximize whatever area or place, because that's also a site specific. So they can just improvise depending on the situation, ma'am. And the whole idea, as you have enumerated in your presentation, that the effort should be there to engage community and make such programs effective.
Okay, so since WhatsApp group, I think will solve half the problem. I've asked Shiv to, and Shravan is not there today, to make it ASAP. And we'll try and include ADCs also there, or CDOs. Anybody else wanting to say something, or we'll have Dorji as the concluding person who's allowed to speak? Because though he's not part of the meeting, he is such an enthu cat that he joins all our meetings. Mr. Padma Dorji is chief engineer in CWC, and one of those people who's always very excited about water. So Dorji, if nobody else has to say anything, you can give your last comments.
Thank you, ma'am. But small question, what I wanted to ask Mr. Junaid regarding people's participation, because these all activities, unless these people, these habitants will not come forward, we cannot achieve our goal. And these very rightly you pointed out sustainability of the whole system. So I wanted to know the ponds, what they have created, whether they have linked with the feeder, and after feeder, how they have linked with the outlet of that pond, whether farmers are using the water of that pond, Amrit Sarovar, to some irrigation or some other purpose. If usage of farmers is there, definitely they will come forward to maintain it also. Second thing is, if we can see some pond in village can be linked with some of the habitants in that village, and we will put a display board. These are the person responsible for maintaining these ponds. We may have some good result on ground. These two things I just wanted to flag. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. So now that we have no questions and we will be meeting soon, thank you so much for sparing time. And though I may sound very sectoral as an IS officer, I may be posted somewhere else. But abhi to it should be water everywhere for all of you. Thank you so much. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.